Holy, I didn't mean to, Batman. Tiki here, and we're watching through Batman the Animated Series for my first time. And boy, oh boy, we've got into a landmark here. We've got into everyone's favorite film critic, Doug Walker's favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series. I need someone to help me through all this hall of mirror of metaphors that is this episode.
Rest assured, Tiki, I'm here, because you see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way.
And tonight we're talking about Babydoll. All right. Oh boy. So Dragon, as it's as I alluded to in that little intro there, I obviously am the most familiar with this episode through the Nostalgia Critics Top 11 Batman the Animated Series episodes. That was one of the very early Nostalgia Critic Top 11s. And this was his number one, buddy. This was his number one. I remember back in the day, Doug really liked to do unconventional number ones, and this was one of them. And I gotta say, my opinion of Doug Walker, a little hit or miss these days, but I gotta say the man has good taste in terms of Batman the Animated Series episodes. I don't want to call this my number one, but this is certainly a top 5 for me, Dragon. This is fantastic stuff. And I'm going to go as far as to say that the actress portraying Babydoll, my God, that might be the best voice acting for like a standalone one-off character that I've seen in the show so far.
You sure this was his number one? Because I thought Almost Got Him was his number one.
You might be right about that.
I know Babydoll was up there. I think Babydoll was like his number 2. That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm pretty sure this is. I don't know. It's either.
See, here's what I know. I know the critic did he did a review with CR about Babydoll. That's what he did. I know that much. But
all right, look. Well, yeah. I don't want to go dragging our feet about. I'll fact check that really quick. All right, Dragon, go ahead and what's your take on this episode? I'll go ahead and fact check that.
But yeah, Babydoll is absolutely it's one of the standouts for season 3 for sure, and definitely again some people they always go to the the kind of those first 2 seasons for Batman, but again you can never discount even if you just want to say Batman the Animated Series as a whole, that Batman and Robin Adventures that got you Babydoll, it got you that's a little standout there. It's really it's really special for that reason. We have a couple of those. Basically, the animated series earned a lot of carte blanche with what they did in those early seasons, and to the point where they can get away with doing a Babydoll episode like this. So let me give you some context for how we get an episode like this. So this was directed by Dan Reba, who had done See No Evil and Trial and Zatanna. It was written by the great Paul Dini. It's a Dini episode. It doesn't
it feels very Dini-esque, absolutely, yeah.
It radiates Dini for days, doesn't it? So, of course, Dini had done Trial this season, and again, a little connection between him and Dan Reba. Did the Zatanna episode with him, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Studio worked on this was, I'm not making this up, folks, Studio Junio. So those guys. They've only done a handful. They did the Mudslide episode and Bullet for Bullock, which was a fantastic episode.
Oh, yeah, both very good episodes, yeah.
So, yeah, go on.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, both very good episodes. That's it.
Well, you got your fact check, but okay. So the
I was gonna wait till you were done with your background there, but yeah, the fact check is that you were right. Almost Got Him is number 1. Babydoll is number 2, and coincidentally, Dragon, because you brought it up, The Trial is his number 3.
Nice. Okay. All right, so Babydoll is an original creation for the animated series. Yet again, another Paul didn't really create all the original characters for the animated series for the most part when you really think of that, because you have Harley, you got Babydoll. I guess Red Claw wasn't his, but I'm saying for the most part, Dini creations, at least the ones that stuck, are Dini creations. So basically, Dini, he's always kind of worked into kind of his take on
Boss Biggs, Dragon.
That's what I'm saying. So not all are Dini.
Everyone's favorite character. That guy really stuck the landing.
Yeah. So anyway, so Paul Dini, he's always the way he's approached Batman's rogues gallery and kind of like the rogues in the animated series he's always had a commentary on celebrity culture in relation to the Batman villains, as in like, how the heck why is Arkham such a revolving door? Well, in part, it's because they're it's like celebrity crime. It's like celebrities who land themselves in the hot seat where they get out like the next day. Like, there's no consequence for the Biebers or the Kardashians of the world. And that's kind of the way he looked at the rogues, and he's just kind of taking that premise and he's really fixating on it for like, okay, what if we took like an actual child star and we kind of made that character a rogue?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Dini also has a huge love of television growing up, and of course that's definitely factored in there too. Actually, he knew a lot of people in the sitcom industry. A lot of people wrote in classic sitcoms and some of the animated shows as well. So he consulted them, and that's how he had writers from, as you can probably guess, there is a Gary Coleman and Emmanuel Lewis kind of a shade applied to Babydoll as a character with what she's dealing with as a child star who is kind of stuck looking like she did in the show.
Of course.
He actually knew writers who worked on those shows. That's kind of where that idea came from. The impetus, again, kind of coming from that. So a little fun fact, as everyone likes to point out with this, and I'm sure this is a little thought kind of ruminating in the old noggin, Babydoll looks a lot like Darla Dimple, don't you think?
A little bit, yeah.
So, pure coincidence, but on both sides, and they both Warner Brothers Productions, and they both had this moment of realization.
Right.
Well, you gotta remember, so like they're in production roughly at the same time. Only the animated series came out first, so you feel really. So basically, the poor guys in the production of Cats Don't Dance, they're just like, oh no, but we were. I think they were in production earlier on this, but still, it's like the fact that the TV works a little faster getting the animation. I was like, but no.
Well, the truth is, similar character too, just in general, just like
exactly.
with the motivation, so, everything.
Absolutely great minds thinking alike on that one. Just like they said, really good, very Darla Dimple-esque kind of styles and ideas, and basically going really cartoony for a very grounded animated show, just to kind of make it seem a little bit more eerie. So just kind of it's all cyclical, folks. It all just kind of works out that way. And Dini, he loved using Babydoll, and she comes back one more time in the revamp. We could bring her back once more in the revamp. And Dini loved using her, but obviously didn't want to oversaturate her. Like, we can't really turn Babydoll into Harley Quinn. If we do that, she's going to get old and really forced in. So the idea, she was used sparingly, but again, lovingly. And second appearance doesn't hold a candle to this one, but still, good. It's interesting stuff. So we'll get there when we get there, once we get to the revamp. Okay, let's dive right into it then.
All right, so we are at the premiere, or not the premiere, but a performance of Death of a Salesman.
Yes, and we have child star Brian Daly, who, by the way, again, just to show you like the love for the old school TV stuff here, Robbie Rist plays Brian Daly. Now, Robin Rist was the original Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, no, are you shitting me? That's great.
Seriously, he plays...
That's awesome.
So he plays Brian Daly.
I love that. I fucking love that. That's amazing. I told you,
Dini was in tune. He knew guys in the industry. It was very easy for him to, to kind of get that in there.
Man. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Anyways.
All right, so the idea is Brian was, I believe, playing like Willie Lone, Death of a Salesman. He's walking after the performance, and he comes across a lost and crying little girl. And I love how silhouetted she is, and I love how silhouetted this whole sequence is. There's something really eerie about it, too, because it feels like it should be an innocent, like, nice thing, but it's just that twinge of something's menacing about this. So her brother has left her all by her lonesomes. He's not supposed to do that.
Brothers aren't supposed to do that. They're baby sisters.
Mm-hmm. So he offers to find like a cop, to find like a police officer. Oh, it was so nice of you to help me. You're so nice, but you always were the nicest one, Tippy.
Tippy.
So it's like you. He recognizes her now with the Tippy, and of course then like she comes out of the shadows like you, and then gets knocked out. At least like gets sprayed by someone to knock him out or something. He gets knocked out, and is, sorry I had to play so rough, Tippy. I didn't.
You do that voice well.
What?
You do that voice well.
Sorry, I didn't mean to play so rough, Tippy. I didn't mean to. So, and let's see. So, of course, this is so Babydoll. Fun fact before we get into this thing with Babydoll is really interesting. Well, kind of an element of tragedy with Babydoll as a character. So Babydoll is patterned after someone Paul Dini knew, an actual actress. It was an actress friend who was his assistant for a while, I believe, during the animated series. who drove Paul Dini a little crazy with her cute. She had that cutesy lisp in real life, adding the S on the ends of everything.
Wow.
My lonesomes and everything. He drove him a little nuts, so he wrote that in there. And once the episode aired, he told her about it, and she was like, "Oh, why didn't you get me to do the voice?" Like she wanted to do the voice for her. He's a hungry actress. Everyone wants to do a voice.
Sure,
It's just
sure.
that biggest show around at that point. And this now here's the thing, Tiki. I don't know if you're aware of this. This actress's name was Lana Clarkson. Does that name ring a bell for you?
No.
So years later, I think like around '06 or something, like in like the early 2000s, years later, his assistant, who was one of the impetuses for Babydoll and the performance, killed by Phil Spector.
Oh shit! Oh damn!
She was the victim, the Phil Spector. I don't bore you all the details of the Phil Spector affair. So yeah, it was a little fun. Well, again, a little tragic kind of fun factor for you. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say fun fact.
Well, it's an unfun fact. The fun thing was the list.
Let's just leave the word fun out of it, Dragon. Okay.
Fine. There's an interesting fact for you. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, Summer Gleason actually has something relevant to do to the episode, Tiki. What do we got?
Wow, amazing!
This is honestly the best use of Summer Gleason in the animated series.
Probably, yeah.
This and the Bullet for Bullock episode. Honestly, Studio Junior gets the best use out of Summer Gleason when you really think about
it. All right, I mean, it's in both cases, it's kind of exposition, but it's good exposition.
I mean, it's not just there's not shoehorn her in for a change. Like she's like tagging along with Bruce Wayne unnecessarily,
I've got a date with Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry. Anyways.
Anyway.
Oh wow, that really offended you. Jesus, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch a nerve, Dragon. God.
Anyway, so Summer Gleason, she's doing the Gotham Insider, doing like a Where Are They Now little special on like where the celebrities are now from the hit show Love That Baby 20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we expo like this black and white sitcom that starred Mary Louise Dahl. I love the spelling of Dahl, by the way, Dahl. It's like like the fancy doll.
It's like Roald Dahl.
Yeah, exactly. I love that, just given the irony of the title and everything. It's great. So we have this little, little girl getting into, shenanigans, like classic sitcom shenanigans. Like we see like a clip of the show. You have zebras and I think like linebackers or something. Like a whole bunch of firemen. Like you have like firemen in the background, little pots boiling over, bagpipes, guys with bagpipes, stuff like that. Just a bunch of craziness. Parents come home, baby, you better have an explanation for this.
I didn't mean to.
Yep, which is just. Which is great. So now this is I like that we have some really great transitions from film to from the TV to real life here. So we go from just Gotham Insider to revealing we're watching in Jim Gordon's office. Really nice transition.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're gonna have a Batman Gordon scene with Robin. Just saying, Batman Gordon and Robin.
Robin's got some fun stuff this episode.
He does. So Robin's remembering the show and he says, "Oh, I remember this show. It still stinks." I like that we're kind of building a little bit of sympathy for Babydoll through Robin's
through Robin's criticisms. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you're right. Robin is kind of like the voice of like the the dissenters of her.
Certainly, kind of the then millennial in a sense. But
back then he was one of those pesky Gen Xers, Dragon.
Sure. I always like that when it's this fun trend where we have Robin in the Batman Gordon scenes. We infuse a little bit of comedy in them. All the Gordon's just kind of going with it, like, okay, the kid's just having this little fun commentary. Well, be that as it may, just at least rolling with it.
Right.
Okay, so important kind of earmarks of the scene here. Daly is the third of the actors to disappear since last week. They have officers watching. There are two actors left. There's Tammy Vance, who played the sister on the show, and she's doing a show, I believe, at the same theater, at least an eerily similar theater. Might be a production thing. The point being, at the theater. And there's Mary Dahl. Mary Dahl has been missing. She dropped off the grid once the show went off. Basically, once she tried launching a dramatic career, didn't go so well, and she's disappeared from public life ever since. And this is really cool. I love that Batman. He doing his research as he tends to do. And again, his father was a doctor. I like that Batman has read medical journals. He read about her medical journal once. and she has systemic hypoplasia. Now, essentially, they kind of shorthanded this because there's a big, boring, long medical name, but essentially, hypoplasia it works well enough. Basically means reduced organs. It basically means like organs that wouldn't age like to an adult age.
Gotcha.
Which essentially, I mean, in this case, like what Gary Coleman had, it was basically like to his kidneys. So presumably, she had like a similar thing, probably hypoplasia of the kidneys or something. Anyway, point being, she's looked at. She's age 20 when the show is going, so she's probably like at really like age 40 or 35, since the show's ended.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like definitely in her 40s at least. So again, real great foreshadow for acting.
It says she'd be about 30 now.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, it should be about 30 now. Because I'm assuming like I don't know what season that clip is in. It might be halfway through for all I know. But yeah.
And also, Dragon, are you sure that the show itself is in black and white, and that the footage isn't just shown in black and white?
It's entirely possible, given all the TVs in Gotham are usually black and white.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like we're kind of like mixing our timelines up a little bit here.
Well, sure, but the point being is like any show on Gotham's going to be in black and white anyway. So it's a black and white show, and again, they do say 20 years though. Like, again, it's been 20 years since the show ended. Well, since the show, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Point being, she's at age. Gordon estimates she'd be about 30 now. We foreshadow Act 3. She's older than she appears. Again, I love that she's trapped in her fame. That's my favorite element of the whole Babydoll thing. She's kind of trapped in the course. Like, it's not just being a child star. It's like you, despite you being far more different, again, the off-screen persona versus the on-screen persona, you're stuck in the on-screen persona. If you don't have that fame, you're just a relic of the past.
Mm-hmm.
So before the bat exit, like Gordon gives him the tape, we have the clip of her being 20 years old is the cake clip, her face being shoved in the cake. It's going to be important. Anyway, so before the bat exit, Bullock calls in over the radio, and there's a gunman at the theater. They're trying to nab Vance.
And of course, the gunmen, Dragon, this is one of my favorite, like, weird, obscure parts of the episode. They are modeled after Gilligan and the Skipper.
That's what I'm saying. I love there's such a predominant kind of classic TV theme to coding to the whole episode. Again, just Dini showing a lot of love for the old sitcoms and everything. It's really fun. But yeah, again, I love the whole bad exit interrupt this, then transition right into the next scene where Batman runs
it's a good transition, yeah.
Okay, so the GCPD, they're basically in the midst of a shootout here. They're evading gunfire by the Skipper and Gilligan-inspired henchmen. They're making a play for Vance, and it's like, why? Why are you doing this? And of course, Robin swoops in. Hey, the lady asked you a question. Like, bam! And the two of them, they start to take him down. But then a van smashes through the blockade, and Robin saves Vance. Shoves her out of the way, does like a leap and roll over the van. Really nice gymnastic stuff, as we'd expect from the Boy Wonder, no question. But unfortunately, while this is going on, as Robin's almost become street pizza there, they capture Vance and they drive off. And before Batman and Robin can get into the Batmobile, by the way, Batman using the keypad belt, awesome. Just saying, I've always loved that as a kid. Like, okay, I can type in a little coordinates on the belt, and it comes to him. You forget the whole like the then Alexa in '89 where he speaks into like stop. You think that he controls the Batmobile. Forget that. This was awesome. So,
right.
The Batmobile comes towards him. Then what happens?
So we see a little girl bouncing a ball on the street. She goes into the middle of the street. Batmobile almost hits her, but it swerves and saved just in the nick of time.
Yep. Robin comforts the little girl. I lost my mommy. So then the quote-unquote mother is reunited with her child. So before Batman and Robin walk away, they hear, like, baby, what were you thinking? I didn't mean to.
That was her slip, Dragon. That was her slip.
It was.
You said, she's just too caught up in the in the persona. If she hadn't said that, I wonder if it would have even gotten back to her.
So Batman, he turns her, like, hold it. And of course, then she turns with the big reveal, naughty Mr. Batman, you play too rough. Then she drops, like, the little rubber ball, which is a smoke bomb, actually. And Robin, he thinks he's caught him, but he actually caught Bullock. What a dope. as Babydoll...
Dope.
Yep. As Babydoll gets away, and again, neat reveal overall. It's a neat reveal. Like, oh, Babydoll is, she's made her grand debut, and then of course we transition to the scheme at hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, and this is some creepy shit, Dragon.
Again, this is Dini magic, my friend. This is what Dini does best. He takes such a ridiculous cartoony on the surface. Like, we have like the most cartoony looking character we've ever had in the animated series, but my God, is it serious and scary.
I love how psychological it is, and it doesn't really even give you any clear-cut answers for the psychology at play. It's almost kind of like a Rorschach test of psychology going on right now.
Certainly. So Tammy comes to, and she's in her old school costume from the show as if she were a teenager again. She finds the cast on set for a reunion, one could think, but no. Also, did the father sound familiar to you at all?
Vaguely.
That is Alan Young. That's the original Scrooge McDuck and the sidekick for Mr. Ed, the human guy from Mr. Ed.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So he's playing Todd, the father. We have June, Brian, and of course, enter Babydoll. Very delusional Babydoll. So this is where you got to talk about the performance here. So this is where she really shines. Allison, I'm probably butchering this. Allison LaPlaca. She plays Babydoll, and she has this wonderful thing where she plays the dude, basically taking what Kevin Conroy does, where he kind of differentiates the voices of Batman and Bruce Wayne, as he tends to do. And we kind of have that, but we have her playing this wonderful line of delusional parody of a sitcom kid meets tragedy of the situation, the tragic reality of like kind of the actress who can't find work anymore, the actress trapped in her fame, trapped in the past perfectly. We strike that balance so perfectly, and she shifts between the voices like when the spotlight comes on. It's flawless.
Yeah. Turns out they didn't want me. They only wanted Babydoll. Something to that extent. I know I'm not quoting it line for line, but...
Sure. And the way it gets really creepy, too, is just like, oh, I missed you, me and Mr. Happyhead. Of course, Mr. Happyhead... oh, God. Mr. Happyhead is just such a great idea. It's like a gun inside of a Babydoll. Again, they can't have her hold an actual gun, because that's like the worst... They're already worried about imitatable violence with guns, but put in a doll, that's fine.
Of course, naturally.
All right, so they're asking, is this a joke? And it's like, I'm Baby, remembers? And you're Susie and Tipsy and Mumsy and Dadsy. And we're going to be together again forevers and evers. And, of course, the gunmen force, like, a hug, and that's, like, the end of act.
The most intimidating hug you've ever seen, Dragon.
I know, it's great. Like, they're forcing, like, that's what I'm saying. That's the mark of Dieter, is forcing this sitcom-y moment, this lovey-dovey sitcom moment, but with, like, with gun-toting Gilligans and Gilligan sketches.
Come here, little buddy.
The only thing that would have made this episode better if, like, during a scene, one of them said, "Little buddy."
Oh God, I don't know. That maybe would have been too on the nose.
You're right. It would have been too on the nose, but it was appreciated nonetheless, just having them there. Okay, so Robin, they interrupts yet again. Summer Gleason with a point. Batman and Robin interrupt Gleason for a Babydoll lead, essentially, and they learn from her the cast should have hated her. Like, it shouldn't be the other way around, because now Babydoll's going after the cast, but they don't know why. That's what they're trying to figure out. So the cast should hate her because she put them out of work when she quit the show just out of the blue to start a dramatic career, and she puts in a tape just to demonstrate this, and it lays her performing Macbeth, which basically
is wonderful, man. This is awesome.
And it's tragic though, because again she's trying to give a dramatic performance, but again her curse is that again it looks like a sitcom kid doing Macbeth.
But you know what? Like you said, she is genuinely kind of like putting her all into the actual performance. You can tell that in the vocal delivery.
Exactly, and that's the tragedy. And Robin, Robin's the harshest critic.
He really is, man. Robin's like inadvertently kind of the villain in this episode. If you look at it like in terms of like the public being the villain.
Yep. So the point being, like, that also basically saying that also stinks, and like, yeah, that's what the critics thought too. Anyway, so so after this bomb, she tried going back. The networks turned her down. It's kind of like what happened to the '60s Batman show. There was a chance it could have gotten picked up again, but they destroyed all the sets. So it was kind of that with the networks here, where the networks just like, no, we're not gonna you quit the show, they probably destroyed half the sets or whatever. Like they just it was non-viable. It was like it's like probably more like the Munsters. The Munsters being like there's just a point where Munsters mania kind of phased out, you know.
Right, right.
All right, so Robin wants to take the tapes. Maybe it was like a clue to what we're looking for here in one of these old episodes. She lends them out, says, "Hey, give me an exclusive," and I'll give. And of course, bad exit, which is right.
At least he gets one bad exit this episode, Dragon.
Yeah, but again, I like that we're kind of like sticking Summer Gleason's goal. Summer Gleason always looking for an angle before doing the right thing. You know what? That's fair. She gets a bad exit. That's fair. All right, so we're at stage 5 yet again.
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
Reunion continues with a breakfast scene.
Oh God. And everyone, of course, is just like very on edge. Dragon. It's almost kind of like it's almost kind of Twilight Zone-esque. You know, that one episode of the Twilight Zone where they're all trying to like appease the little kid with the telekinetic powers.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, baby doll. Yeah, it's a great breakfast. You're right. Please don't kill me.
but Todd's had enough. Todd's had enough. He's like, you're gonna hear a call from my lawyer, and he's complaining.
You tell him, Scrooge.
Yeah, that's the thing, because he's making the point where I love this. He calls her out on her BS, saying, like, "It's your reason. We're not a family. We're actors, and you're the one who lost us the show because you complained you weren't getting enough attention. That's why she struck out for the dramatic career. Because there's always that thing in Hollywood where you think, I'm not making it until I do movies. Where even if you have like a perfectly fine sitcom or a TV show, like, no, I need to do movies.
Right.
That's how you get taken seriously. Oh, the creepiest detail: they stuff the dog.
Oh yeah. Oh man, Buster. And they linger on it too.
So there's Buster, and like literally she put Buster on like wheels or something. And basically, Buster's with like this little sound thing around his neck. So basically, they're hitting the guys. Be like the most terrifying Frasier reunion ever. Like a little stuffed Eddie on the table. Like, oh god. So anyways, then she then kicks the dog like, bad Buster, no scraps for you. Like, bam, kicks it. So bad boy, go away. Just hysterical insanity going on here, and they have she has like a little sound thing from the audience reaction, like the laughing, and it's great. Just the cartoony timing on the Babydoll animation is scary and gives her an edge, don't you think? Because you have this thing where definitely. It gives her an edge.
It's the cartoony timing like mixed with the vocal delivery. It's just like a great combination.
Yeah, and again, it's almost like giving like the guys who started in Tiny Toons are bringing that Tiny Toons talent onto the animated series, but it doesn't mix. But I love how it doesn't mix though. It's perfectly out of sync in a way it's supposed to make it off-putting.
Right.
All right, so she reveals it's her birthdays. So she puts hats on everybody, and then this is where Todd's had enough. He tries to go and he chews her out over everything. We have this great moment with Babydoll where she says, he says something along the lines of like, "I made a boo-boos," or I made a mistake.
Mm.
No, sorry, she says, "And now I knows I made a boo-boo." And then we have this brilliant spotlight moment after Miriam basically kicks poor Todd. And I love how Babydoll motions like, "Hey, kick him! Like get him back in here!" Basically, bam. Just kicks him, and then she gives the big dramatic speech here. My favorite moment, Babydoll, here is when they have like the dark circles under the eyes, and like that the light reveals all. The voice shift comes into play. We have like the 30-year-old voice coming. It was hard for me. I studied and trained, and no one wanted me. And she hits like the aw button again. We're adding us a little bit of black comedy in there, which is perfect. Like the aw.
Yeah.
But remember how happy I was with all of you around me, and all the people who were tuned in to watch me. So again, like you have this Grey Ghost and Feet of Clay, the animated series touching on Hollywood and kind of the actors' play in various different ways, which is great. Yet another thing Babydoll has a feather in its cap for.
Mm-hmm.
The curse of fame. So again, she took the leap to be grown up, but the world rejected her because of her looks and being typecast, which again is kind of the curse like Adam West faced for a while, but the typecasting and everything. So, but now I'm babies. So, like now she's babies, back to being baby dolls. The duality and just that utter break in reality, and and then she goes in for the group hug, and everyone's gonna love me again.
Oh man.
Yep. Oh god. Also, should we talk about Miriam? How do you feel about Miriam?
Oh yeah, I just kind of get the sense that she was probably like the nanny to marry Doll on the set, and she just kind of like never left the position.
That's a great. You know what my headcanon was for this? My headcanon was that she was the only reason she can do the stuff she does in the third act of this episode, all the kicking and all the physical stuff, is that I think she's an out-of-work stunt woman that got a job.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
That's the only way I can really buy what she does in the third act.
Well, I mean, I think if we're gonna like break down, the logic of Babydoll's plan, I think she's probably going to like out of work people in Hollywood just in general. Kind of like forming this like out of work actors coalition.
Which is a really cool idea.
It is, yeah.
I mean, even if it's not in the episode, it is now. It works for us.
Right.
Okay, so we have this yet another brilliant transition, almost like a Toy Story 2 level transition. Toy Story 2 has phenomenal transitions. It's like this moment where they go in for the group hug yet again, and we transition from the group hug there to the Robin watching the black and white footage of the.
Oh yeah, that is a really good transition, right?
Which is great. Back when they were all actually happy instead of like under the gun, literally.
All right, and Robin is just he's just on fire with these jabs. He's just talking like, remember when Poison Ivy tried to poison us with those thorn bushes and the really sharp thorns? Yeah,
tried to smother us with the thorn bushes.
Right. Well, this is worse than that.
I love that it's like Batman and Robin binging to save the day. They're binging Love That Baby. So Robin, again, basically, I love Robin's mainly the one doing the binging. Batman's doing the background stuff, just trying to, like, researching what he finds. So Robin discovers that Babydoll, she hasn't nabbed all the cast, technically. There's a big detail. She hasn't nabbed all the cast because in the last season of the show, there was an addition to kind of hopefully improve the ratings.
This is exactly why I love the fact that we have Cousin Oliver in the cast.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a twofer here. One, it's kind of, again, with the trends of TV, Batgirl was exactly in this category. They added a new character to spice up the ratings on the 60s Batman show. But again, primarily what it's referencing, Cousin Oliver, with Cousin Spunky. Oh, Cousin Spunky.
You always was the mean one, Spunky.
So Robin, I love this. That Robin, after binging, he's like chuckling at the cake bit because he loves seeing Babydoll get her comeuppance. He's like seeing her shoved in the cake. But again, I love that. Presumably, that is like the last straw. As far as I'm concerned, the intimation in the episode to me has always been after that cake shove, and they're all laughing at her expense because of this new character
on the birthday.
On her birthday, that's when she decided. Yes. That's when she decided to go out on her on her dramatic career, and that's when the show tanked. Like that moment is like the last straw in my view of it. Mm. Anyway, so of course, like why wait? Why wait all this time, and why wait to get him last or whatnot? Why didn't she just start with him or anything? And of course, then we reveal maybe she's waiting for the right occasion. Of course, we rewind the birthday footage. She's like, oh yeah, we're there. You go. It's my birthdays. So Spunky, yet another transition from Spunky then to Spunky now. Spunky he's rocking in the garage. But by the way, tell me you recognize this guy.
Oh yeah, it's Jason Marsden, of course. Yeah.
Attaboy, yes, yes. Max Goof for the win, yes.
Of course, yeah, sure.
So we have Jason Marsden doing like this perfect, like the child star grown up, but again the one that hasn't been like he's not really living the Hollywood existence.
Hey lady, I gotta practice,
Of course, Miriam saying you woke up my baby, and of course finding an excuse to go. It's like the old mob thing where you go up to a guy, you complain about him, then of course while you're close you go in for the kill. It's that sort of thing. So, anyway, so it's like, you woke my baby. It's just like, Spunky, you always were such a stinking jerk face. And then just knock out gas bottles them.
Love the gadgets, the baby gadgets. It's a lot cooler than anything in Boss Baby. It's kind of like the more sophisticated version of, like, the Boss Baby tech.
Well, sure. Again, I don't know if I'd say sophisticated, because we're talking, but the point being it's cooler than Boss Baby's tech, yeah.
Yeah.
The simplicity to it. All right.
Sure.
Okay, so let's see. So we have Oh, so now classic killer, classic serial killer, classic someone with an agenda here. She's reenacting the trauma that put her to that really kind of caused the break in the first place. Where essentially, I love how we're circumventing this, but as far as I'm concerned, given the end results here, some people see this as a flaw in the plan. I see this as the intent of the plan. There is an implied suicide mission here.
Oh, you think? Huh.
Some people have said, like, what is her plan? You're like, no, folks, that is the plan.
To blow her. Yeah, wow. That's fucking dark, and that went right over my head. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel stupid for not catching that, but yeah, you're right. Jesus, that kind of shapes.
Wait, really?
No, I wasn't even thinking of it.
Yeah, I've always, just kind of read as, okay, she's willing to get blown up with that cake, and that's
right. Oh, Jesus!
Again, she's reenacting the worst moment. If I'm going down, I'm going to take you all with me. So again, we can be in this moment
really fucking dark. God.
Yeah. So again, I think the way to get away with it is a big cartoony stick of dynamite. That's the only way to get away with it.
I love how Spunky's solution to the problem just like to grab the dynamite with his fucking mouth and just like spit it across the hall.
Which is great. It's such an awesome moment, though.
It is.
Because they're all tied to the table celebrating the birthday again, reenacting the big cake splat moment, essentially. And I love how I love the insanity before the big dynamite moment here, where it's like she's like, she reminisces about you remember this last time Spunky shoved my head in the cake, and everybody laughed and laughed. Well, I'm laughing now. She shoves a little bit of cake in his face, and just all these actors are playing. Well, it wasn't personal, we're characters. We're playing characters on TV.
The whole time we got to remember that it's actually Robin who's Spunky, mm-hmm. So he's kind of like playing into the persona. It's like kind of an extra layer of writing there.
And again, it's like Batman being Killer Croc. You can go really deep.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So, baby, and again, I like how Robin has done the research for the role, though. With the show.
Totally.
Anyway, so Babydoll, she really, I love how she snaps and she breaks here. Again, we build up the duality for Act 3 yet again here. She like kind of breaks and says, "It was real to me." Mm-hmm. Again, so we have anyway, so of course, they loved Baby until you came along and you made everybody forget about me. Now Baby's gonna get evens. So now she brings out like the wrapped dynamite in a box, and she puts it in the cake. And I love how happy-go-lucky the Gilligan's Island henchmen are here. They're like, oh, I'm gonna light the girl's birthday candles and everything. So I think the logic here, again, it is a suicide mission. I think the idea is they're gonna be a proximity, like the henchmen are gonna be a proximity away. I don't think they're that crazy. I think it's like if they get like out of the outside set, they might be okay. I think that's the logic. I'll take that because again, I think the dark undertones still play really well.
Fair enough.
All right. Anyway. So the point being, they like the thing, and she's ready to blow out the candles and the cast, so to speak. But they're all going to go up in anyway. So then Spunky here, is amazing, like so smooth in a crisis here. As he tries to blow out the candles, like, oh god, they're gone. He's come back from commercial. He extends his neck, grabs the thing, and he flings it from behind him. Very acrobatic, one might say.
Right, exactly.
Hey, it's a little limber for a rocker, for a Garth looking guy. Yeah, that Wayne's World looking guy.
Oh, God.
So, anyways, of course, it's never too late to have a happy childhood, she says, before all this happens. And boom, explosion happens. So they're like, no fair! I love how she's like, cheater,
that pisses her off, man. That sets her off.
It's like, cheater. She's just stomping on the cake, and everyone's getting cake flung in their face. Yeah, it's cartoony within the madness, and it's great. So she then consults Mr. Happyhead, and of course, this is where we reveal Mr. Happyhead's been a gun the whole time.
Right.
So we consult Mr. Happyhead, we reveal it's a gun, and she fires around, and she's prepared to off Spunky. Mr. Happy says, you're really gonna get it nows. And again, that's Dini right there, baby. That's Dini. It's like, you're just like, oh god, a little girl holding a gun and a doll at a guy's head. So Batman crashes in. We reveal Spunky was Robin in disguise. Had a transmitter, which led Batman there. Perfect shot of Batman holding Babydoll, just like from the scruff of her shirt, like dangling her in midair. Like again, like it's cartoony yet damaged character. No fairs. I love how again we can't we can't have Batman hit someone who's, even if she just looks like a kid, we can't have Batman hit a kid on Saturday morning.
I mean, naturally,
So we come up with all these great ways of him dispatching with her and dealing with her. Like when he lands in the place, he teeter-totters her with the table. He just lands on the table and she flings her all the way across the set, which is awesome. Then he's like grabbing her like George Reeves grabs the bad guy, Superman. Anyway, so Miriam enters, like, Miriam! So Miriam comes in. She's very flip happy, man. She's kicking Batman around.
Yeah, she's got to be some sort of stunt woman. I think you're right.
It's that, and also the moral for Batman, like, don't underestimate anybody.
Yeah, Batman, come on.
There's always this one bit that really hurts. I wonder if you got this too. When Batman gets kicked by Miriam, he lands like to the side and he knocks it over this light. This light just lands and like bam! It's like, ooh.
Right.
Look at it. Okay, so Robin even gives her props. So like, man, you're good. It's a living. Again, classic Flintstones line. Just it's classic. It's a living. Let's see. So Batman, awesome bit here. Like throws a battering around her. He basically waits for her to do one of her fancy leaps, and when she does, he pulls her. Man, he just slams her. He's using his surroundings.
That's honestly more the moment that kind of get me like, ooh, that's gotta hurt. Just again, like Batman right through the drywall.
Really clever using his surroundings, like waiting for her to do that leap. Like bam, right through the set. So Batman's going after Dolls. Robin frees the cast. She's escaping via Big Wheel.
Like Robin's line to the cast, like, hang on, folks, I'll get you back to reality in just a second.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I love how reality is blurring absolutely with Mary Doll.
It is, yeah.
Where like now she's stuck in the kid's mindset here. Where she's a kid eyeing a carnival right now. Ooh, pretty! Like, hey, look, a carnival! Yay! Just goes to a carnival in the midst of
Meanwhile, somewhere in the United Kingdom, a young film brain perks up. Dragon, his symbolism senses are tingling. There's mirrors nearby.
All right, so
I'm being silly. I'm sorry.
So again, like this criminal being distracted because she's a little girl, despite having played it because she's played it for like 20 years. So let's see, we go to Mr. Flippy's.
To be fair, I would be, if I was just like driving around, I'd be like, ooh, a carnival. It will catch my attention too.
So we go to Mr. Flippy's Fun Land, in which kids get in free. So again, perfect info. Mm-hmm. Batman grapples around, is searching for a really clever move on Batman's part. I
love this move. Batman Dragon. He uses his cool factor to his advantage.
Yeah. He just grapples
just like, all he has to do is just stand on top of the Batmobile, Dragon. He's a fucking boss.
Yeah, he's really grappling around the place. Like he's on top of like a popcorn stand or something.
Yeah, it's like the Batmobile. Yeah, he's just like kind of like on a cart on a vending stand. Yeah, but
all the kids like, hey, look, it's Batman, as I would be. It's like, oh my god, it's Batman.
Right. I mean, let's be honest. Would be the first kid there.
Yep. So assumedly, again, he's assuming that he's basically trying. I'm assuming he's trying to isolate her in the crowd, which again is pretty straightforward. That's got to be what he's doing. Otherwise, it's just kind of really random. Batman's just like striking a pose all of a sudden.
But seriously, how cool is it that Batman is posing to get an advantage?
Yeah, it's great though. So again, the one kid who's not going to be enamored by Batman right now is going to be Babydoll.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So he a very Killing Joke-like setting, by the way, like you fighting amongst like a carnival and like these little stands and rides and like little games.
Sure. Yeah.
Or basically,
it's very Scooby-Doo Carnival-esque.
Yeah, so we go to like a bazooka prize game,
possibly big wooden roller coaster and stuff like that.
Yeah. The cyber chase climax. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if we follow her into the bazooka prize game in which she's waiting there, she hits him with a barrage of balls here, and again, like Batman doesn't want to punch her in the face because again, Batman does have the compassion for her.
The censors.
It's the censors, but also there is compassion where he really does. Again, it's the loving idea that Batman does not want to pummel his problems away, which is why you love the character. When Batman's being written right, it's like, guys, not just gonna like Batman punches the bag. Like, yeah, he does that, but it's more than that. So he just tosses a stuffed prize at her. They kind of get her off the thing, so he can just kind of get close to her. Anyway, so then she runs into here we go, folks. Big highlight of Act 3. The best part of the whole episode is coming here. We go to the fun house, which is closed for repairs. There's just the two of them in this place. Honestly, for me, every time I went to a carnival or a fair, I always loved the fun house. It was my favorite part of it.
Oh, fun houses are awesome. I agree.
So, and again, this like it completes the experience too. I don't know if I necessarily got like an epic hall of mirrors, but I did get like like you have the air guns and everything when you walk in, so it's pretty accurate.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Batman follows her in there, and she's going down like this. She's climbing through little tubes, little inner tube things, and Batman's trying to reach her. And this is my Batman mode. Like that's my Batman right there. He's trying to reach her, trying to talk her down. Yes, it's like don't run. I know you're scared, confused. I can help you. Because again, Batman just doesn't want to punch his problem away. He sees that she's someone who's hurting, and again, his parallels a little bit of himself. Where again, like it's like Batman. Again, he's always kind of a character. Two sides of himself. The duality of Batman compared to the duality of Babydoll, getting caught in your role and getting caught up in your own kind of celebrity and or your own iconic status.
Hmm.
All right. So, of course, she's like just completely in denial, full on kid mode here. Liar, liar, cape on fire. So she's kicking the crap. Batman's letting her kick the crap out of him here. She's like kicks him and hits him with Mr. Happy Head and everything. Game's over, Mr. Batman's. I wins. So she takes aim with Mr. Happy Head. Batman from a distance, he uses the grappling gun to grapple out of her hand down the slide, which leads into the next most important room of the whole episode.
Oh yeah.
She runs to get it as Batman's behind, and we're in the Hall of Mirrors. Very Dark Knight Returns-esque. We're in the Hall of Mirrors.
She sees a bunch of different reflections of herself, and Dragon basically, essentially, she's reflecting on the person she could have been.
Absolutely. Just this middle one is what she would look like had she had more of a normal existence growing up. If she looked like what she feels like on the inside. If basically Mary Doll versus Baby Doll.
Right.
It's this moment of reality and the voice. As the voice comes into play here again, of like we have her bringing her natural voice back instead of like the play voice that she's done, for all these years on that show. And when she loses her touch on reality, that's me in there, the real me. And then she's starting to ground herself back in the reality, but that's not really real, is it? It's just made up and pretend, like my family, like my life, like everything else. And then oh god, this is Batman. Batman draws closer here. She draws Happy Head on Batman. Why couldn't you via the reflections? I'm sure. Like, why couldn't you let me make believe? Which is one of the best line deliveries in the whole episode.
I would dare to say that's maybe one of the best lines of the whole series thus far, honestly.
I mean, it's a great delivery. It's a great moment.
It is.
Yeah, it's a Dini writing for you. Just like that. Why couldn't you just let me make believe? Just said with all the desperation that could be mustered. And again, we have the dark rings under her eyes and everything, and the intensity of the scene, and Batman's silent response, and this perfect score and everything. The Shirley Walker did the score on this. Like it's full on Shirley Walker, not like the Sons of Shirley Walker's apps. Full on Shirley Walker, so it was perfect. She shoots out the reflections one by one and the big moment of truth, big moment that score comes into play, and the hesitation and that pause. She takes aim at herself, the normal version of herself, the version she can never be. They had that score coming in, tears are swell in her eyes and they fall, and she empties the clip, like bam, 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 shooting the reflection, because all she sees is the delusion, all the delusion, the reality that's too far gone that she can never be. This is literally Baby Doll. The weapon, Mr. Happy Head, is the symbol of the Baby Doll. Using her childhood status as a weapon versus the reality that she is, the person she wants to be, her inner self, killing her inner self, killing the status quo she can never live up to be. And we do this not through a lick of dialogue. Not a lick of dialogue is said after that. Why wouldn't you let me make believe? Shoots till the clip's empty. Batman quietly takes the doll from her hands, as she still is like in the shooting motion, just shell-shocked, again, the tears falling down her eyes. She looks up crying and sniveling, and Batman just looks down on her, not a word, just stares at her with kind of a silent compassion.
Yeah.
Then we have the wide shot, and the Batman theme comes in. And of course, what's the line, Tiki?
By all means, Dragon, you've already covered the rest of it.
Well, by all means, if you want to, like, kind
Do
of.
it.
I didn't mean to.
All right. Okay, and that's the episode. All right, so final thoughts. I think this is definitely a landmark episode in the animated series. Easily one of the best original villains. Like obviously far better than the boss pigs of the world. Just chock full of symbolism, chock full of just dripping with psychology and just really interesting takes on the Hollywood ecosystem and everything like that. Great time, absolutely fantastic performance from the main voice actress in this episode, and just overall a Dini grand slam.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, Babydoll, absolutely a standout of season 3. Can only be made after the Amateurs proves itself, earns the carte blanche to do like a weird episode like this, but a weird episode that takes every advantage within its premise, that makes everything just sing perfectly. It's this season. We've done robots, we've done Ra's al Ghul, we've done Bane, we've done time travel, we've done some form of time travel. It's been a weird season. Let's be honest.
It has.
But again, this is Paul Dini in his wheelhouse. This is again, it's a testament, and it's such a testament and a symbol for his career, what he does best. Tiny Toons on the surface, with potential and that meaningful substance beneath it. If you stick around for like, oh, it's on the surface, it's a little Tiny Toons, a little kind of a funny episode, ha ha ha. But if you stick around, it's going to take you places. It's going to make you feel things. That third act, that ending, is so gobsmackingly memorable. And it just reminds you why the series is king. It got Batman so well. Again, that last moment, Batman putting his hand on Babydoll's head, comforting her. That says all. That's perfect. There's like a cell they didn't use. There was going to be one more shot to the episode of Batman walking her out of the place, but they had the foresight to see, no, we got to end it in that moment. Otherwise, we're going to overstay our welcome. They sold that cell in the Warner Brothers store. That's why you can't find it anymore. But that's what I'm saying. It's like they made such a good call there. It's just that this is why the series works. This is why like episodes like these, moments like these, are the cornerstones of them getting Batman so perfectly right in this show. It's wonderful.
All right, take us out.
Well, I mean, we'll peek in the next week then.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Take us out with the Dozier.
Right. Red Claws return. Londinium launch codes. Alfred a spy. Oh my. Will Batman and Robin find their friend and Butler amidst the London fog? Could these MI6 shenanigans lead to a prequel series of epics proportions? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Batcave with the Lion and the Unicorn.